Good day. Welcome to our YouTube channel that is coming to you from the root of Cornell University. Today we have an interesting topic, and I am so confident that this topic is of most importance to you because it happens everywhere. It's called the 4 behaviors on how to manage crisis. Crisis is so common in everything. We have crisis in our homes, crisis in our offices, crisis in our countries, crisis in organizations, crisis in education, crisis in the economy, crisis in the health sector. So it is but fitting that we learn how to manage crisis in the event that you are faced with such a situation. It will be of great help to you and me on how to manage an emergency crisis. So let's look at four things here quickly. Four behaviors that help leaders manage a crisis. Four behaviors that help a leader manage a crisis. My name is Professor Allieu Kamara, coming to you from the Rudolph Cornell University. Let's see some of these things. Let's see them briefly. Let's look at the introductory part of today's coaching career session. Any employee depends on their leaders. And if any employees depend on their leaders, then they must be able to understand these four things. They are called 4 behaviors to be effective in their roles. And these are: one, you must make a decision, a speedy decision over precision. One, make a speedy decision over precision. Two, adapt to a changing circumstance. Adapt to a changing circumstances. Number three, have a reliable delivery ability or style. And four, have an impact. You have the behavior of an impact despite the situation. The roles and responsibility of business leaders have dramatically changed in the past few years, months, or weeks. Before COVID-19, CEOs and other executives in high growth companies were focused on fostering innovations, driving revenue, and gaining market shares. But today, many of those leaders are forced to make a rapid decision over controlling cost and maintaining liquidities. And they are encouraged also in the event that they come in contact with the unforeseen roadblocks, supply chain issues, team shortage, and personnel changes. And that means such will have to be drastically or would drastically affect or alter the scope of their roles and priorities. In all of this, they and their team must learn how to navigate between health and safety concerns, working remotely and supporting their families through the pandemic. And this is not an easy tradition. It's not an easy transition. Those in charge will be tested. They will be tested in areas where they have not fully developed their capacity or muscles. And if so, the learning curve will be steep. And that's why they will need coaching for their own bosses and other subordinates. We're still talking about Corona and how leadership operates and how recoveries are to be made. Now, the research that was conducted by the C-suite executive reveals after a research of 21,000 leadership assessment among the suite executive, the CEO of General Research Team at their SMART has learned that to move forward in a crisis, leaders need to cultivate four behaviors themselves and in their teams. They need to cultivate four behaviors themselves and in their teams. They must decide one, with speed over precision, two, adopt boldly or adapt boldly, three, rapidly delivered, and four, engage for impact. These tactics can be a guide as you coach your leaders in these key behaviors. So let's look at them quickly. One, we talk about decide with speed over precision. Decide with speed. Why should we decide with speed? It's because situation are changing or the situation is changing day by day, even by hours. The best leaders quickly process available informations, rapidly determine what matters most, and make a decision with conviction. During crisis, there must be a cognitive overload looms. Information is incomplete, interest and priority may crash, emotions and anxiety may run high, analysis may paralyze or can easily result. into exacerbated situation by the natural tendency of matrix organizations to build concession. Leaders must break through the inertia to keep the organization trained on business continuity today, while increasing the odds of mid to long-term success by focusing on the few things that matters most. A simple escalated frame or explainable framework for a rapid decision making is crucial. A simple escalable framework for rapid decision making is crucial. Therefore, you need to understand the followings that I would share with you. One, you define your priorities. You have to define your priorities. Identify and communicate the 3 to 5 most important ones. Earlier in the crisis, those might include employee safety and care, financial liquidity, customer care, and operational continuity. What should you do? You document the issues identified, ensure that leaders or leadership is fully aligned with them, and make course correction as events unfold. Two, make a smart trade-off. Make a smart trade-off. What conflict might arise among the priority you have outlined between the urgent and the most important, between survival today and success tomorrow? Instead of thinking about all possibility, the best leader uses their priority as a scoring mechanism to force the trade-off. Number three, you name the decision makers. You know, or you might be informed or may be informed concerning particular set of people in or outsiders that are influential on the process of making decisions. You have to name them in your central decision or central command room. You have to establish who is doing what, who owns what. Empower the front line to make decisions where possible and clearly state what needs to be escalated by when and to whom. Your default should be to push decision downward, not upward. Number three, embrace action. Embrace action. Don't push or don't punish mistakes. Missets or missteps will happen. But our research indicates that failing to act is much more worse. So you have to act. Number two, behavior is adapt boldly. The number two behavior is that you must be able to adapt boldly. Strong leaders get ahead of changing circumstances. They seek input and information from diverse sources are not afraid to admit what they don't know and bring in outside experts when needed. Let us look at what are the steps here that must be applied or implemented. One, in such situation, first you have to decide what not to do. You decide what not to do. Put a hold on a large initiative and expenses and rudely prioritize. Publicize your what not to do choices. Let them be made clear. Number two, throw out your yesterday playbook. Throw out your yesterday playbook. The action that previously drove results may no longer be relevant. So the best leaders adjust quickly and develop new plans of attack. So not dwelling all the time at the past or on the past. Number three, strengthen or build direct connection to the front line. In triage situations, it's crucial to have an accurate, current picture of what is happening on the ground. Whether running a supply chain, leading a waste management company, or overseeing a pharmaceutical company, leaders must get situational assessment early and often. One way is to create a network of local leaders and influencers who can speak with deep knowledge about the impact of the crisis and the sentiment of customers, suppliers, employees, and other stakeholders. Technology can bring the parties together. Think internal whiskies that capture issues, solution, innovation, and best practices. Effective leaders extend their antenna across all the ecosystem in which they operate. Number three, behavior is reliable delivery. Reliable delivery. You have to be reliably delivered. The best leaders take personal ownership in a crisis. They don't run away from it. They don't throw blames. They take responsibilities. Even though many challenges and factors lie outside their control, they align their team focused, establish new metrics to monitor performance and create a culture of accountability. So you and your team must also do the following. One, stay alert. Stay alert to and align on a daily dashboard of priorities. Leaders should succinctly document their top 5 priorities on a half page or less and ensure that those above are in accordance or those above are in accord. Review performance against those items frequently, if not daily, perhaps weekly, and make sure that leaders share this information with direct report. Review and update your eat list at the end of each day or week. Number two, set up a KPIs and other metrics to measure performance. Choose 3 to 5 metrics that matters most for the week and have leaders regular report back on each. Keep mind and body in fighting shape. To realize to reliably delivered, leaders must maintain their equipment even when others are losing their head. Establish a routine of self-care, healthy diet, exercise, meditate, or whatever works best for you. Stock up on energy, emotional reserves, and coping mechanisms. Don't allow to lose concentration or health. Number four, behavior is engaged for impact. Avoid too much of waste of time engaging on things that are not relevant to the issue. In time of crisis, no job is more important than taking care of your team. Effective leaders are understanding of their team's circumstances and distractions, but they find ways to engage and motivate clearly and thoroughly communicating important new goals and informations. These points deserve extra attention because although the COVID-19 pandemic is of course a healthy or a health crisis, it has also sparked financial crisis as well. Your leaders need to reiterate new priority frequently to ensure continued alignment in this time of constant and stressful change. On this note, there are a few things you may also want to do. One of them is to connect with individual team members. Reach out daily for a plus check with least 5 on work. One leader we know may conduct a 30-minute wind down session with direct report each Friday afternoon via Zoom or whatever means. People will share their state of mind along with the week's highlights and low points. 2. Dig to engage your team. When communication breaks down, the leaders act without team input, as can more easily happen when work is remote. They get sub-pack result. Number 3, ask for help as needed. The best leader knows they can't do everything themselves. Identify team structure and assign individuals to support key effort. Number 4, ensure a focus on both circumstance and employees to support customer. Reach out, but to do no harm. Track and document intel across your customer base. to strengthen relationship and build trust. Keep the focus of yours and explore how you can truly help your customers. For example, by proposing payment schedule to ease their liquidity crunch, or offering pro bono or in-kind provision of services to support employees. Lead with empathy and focus on safety and health. Compassion goes a long way during turbulent times. Find ways to lend material aid to frontline employees who cannot work remotely, such as first responder, chorus, and trash collectors. Collect and amplify positive messages, successes, act of kindness, obstacles that have been overcome. Many companies are tied to a noble purpose, such as saving lives, manufacturing medical equipment, helping market function more efficiently, or providing joy. Whatever your purpose, celebrate your daily, often consumed or unsung heroes. Simply stay productive in these times makes heroes. Finally, training your team for crisis leadership. As a leader of leaders, you are navigating new and ever-changing priorities with limited time to react. Some small investment in support and coaching can go a long way towards boosting your leaders' effectiveness. Moment of crisis reveals a great deal about the leaders below you. Once the immediate fire is under control and you have a moment to catch your breath, think about who rose to the occasion, who struggled and why. Consider how roles will change in the post-crisis world, and whether you key whether your key executives are positioned for success. Last and most importantly, ask yourself whom you want at the table, both in the current crisis and in the long term, or for tomorrow when we emerge to a new normal. These are 4 behaviors that can help you greatly in solving any crisis. I hope you have benefited from this YouTube. Don't forget to forward, like, and share, and drop your comment for our concern, response, etc. Till we meet in our next video, I've been your host. My name is Professor Paul Allieu Kamara, coming right away from the road of Kwano University. Thank you for being there. I'll join you again. Thank you very much.